What's up, Transformers fans? I'm Mondo, and this is another Moonbase 84 transmission. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Legacy United Prime Universe Cliffjumper from the Target exclusive Versus Multipack. But before I do, if you could hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and all that jazz, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, Cliffjumper has always been one of my favorite all-time characters. He was one of the first Transformers I ever got as a kid, way back in the G1 era, and I always loved his depiction in the G1 cartoon. And then when they announced that he was coming to Transformers Prime, I got really psyched. And then sadly, of course, we all know it was short-lived, and oh, what could have been. He was a great character while he lasted, but that being said, I did love his design in Transformers Prime, both his car mode and his bot mode, namely because he wasn't a Bumblebee repaint finally after years of Bumblebee repaints with the toys, because he was not originally a Bumblebee repaint. So it was cool to get back his own identity, and of course we all know it's short-lived. But anyway, here is his newest, the newest example of the Transformers Prime Cliffjumper, being in that Legacy United Versus exclusive Versus pack. I almost said 5-pack, but it's a 4-pack. So we'll take a look at him. His car mode, I really do like how the car mode came out. It's a nice representation of Prime Cliffjumper. Still not, to me, it doesn't beat out the first edition Prime Cliffjumper, Prime First Edition, or even the Deluxe. I just thought that was a lot closer to the Prime cartoon. And I will say that those two both are cleaner. There's not as much like breakups in the, in the sculpt in the car due to transformation. They're cleaner basically, but this one is cool, and this is the type of design we're getting now. But I still like this one. You have some nice silver hits on the wheels, and of course his exhaust, and he's still that like boxy muscle car type vibe. What is it, Dodge? I always get Challenger and Charger confused. Dodge Charger, he kind of always reminded me of. And that's nothing new, he reminded a lot of people of that. Anyway, of course you got the horns, and you got a nice painted grill with a helicopter flying around. I'm sorry about that, but I'm not editing it. And you got his lights, and then of course the side is the same. But yeah, really nice muscle car. You got clear plastic, but very dark. I will say that some of the paint doesn't match up. I hope you can see that on camera. Like these pieces on the sides here and here, they don't match up with the red like here, say. So that's kind of unfortunate. I like the details here, like the vents in the hood. Go around to the back, he's got a nice bumper. Painted tail lights, which is cool. He does. Trust me, he rolls. I always do that. I got to get a better surface where I can, so you don't think I'm lying. And I also love the little tiny Autobot symbols on the side, just there and here. And I love this for the back window. What do they call them? Louvers or something? I don't know. But anyway, really awesome looking car mode. Now, Cliff here is a retool of the Legacy United Rescue Bot Chase, and because of that, I think some of these accessories carry over because they don't really make too much sense for Cliff. And you get these two, if you can see them there, they're two like, they're pincer type things. They make a hook, and then this thing, and you can, I guess you could plug that in there for a single hook if you wanted. And then I have this done up for one of the horns, but you can also plug these into here to make that claw with the pincers if you wanted to. And for both robot and car mode, we'll get more into these in a little bit. I mean, you can store them here. I don't think any of them look really that great on Cliff in car mode, but it's just an option if you happen to like that. So what we're going to do, as always, I'm going to transform this guy off camera, and we will take a look at his robot mode. So here's Cliffjumper in robot mode, and I will say that I think his transformation is really fun. I did enjoy it. I don't have the Legacy Chase, so this is the first time transforming this mold. But I will say there was something that makes me nervous doing it, and it's to do with tolerance issues, and that we'll go over that in articulation, because it's the same problem that I can show easier in articulation. It makes me nervous. But anyway, here he is in robot mode, and I think he looks really great. A good representation of Prime Universe Cliffjumper. And Hasbro, take note, this is Prime Universe done right. We've gotten quite a few duds when it comes to the Prime Universe updates and Legacy, but this is done right. I think he looks really good. as I said, a great representation of Prime Cliffjumper, and we'll take a closer look. Namely, starting off with that head sculpt, which is really cool, and that is Prime Universe Cliff. Fantastic. I really couldn't be happier with that head sculpt. And of course, you've got, you know, all of his bobs and whistles from the show. He's still casting all that red and black. I do like the gunmetal colors in the waist. Moving down, you get that what were the vents on his hood, on his legs. So that's a nice little detail. You get his lights down there. Some more hits of black there. But the thing is also, nice little wheels. His exhaust back here. But what I will say too is I like that he's not very hollow, as you can see. And not super gappy. The only gappiness, yeah, right there. That's a little irksome. So that, I guess you can call that hollow. I call it more like gappy, but at least it's on the side, and his big arms cover it up most of the time, because Prime Cliffjumper had big jacked up arms, just like his voice actor. Yeah, really cool representation of Prime Cliffjumper. I'll say it one more time. Okay, we're going to get into articulation, and that's where what made me nervous about transforming this guy back and forth comes into play, and it's basically a tolerance issue. So we'll start off with the head, and it can swivel. It's pretty tight. It's nice and tight. It's not all floppy. Oh, I just noticed he has some more detail in the neck area too. It's kind of hidden in the shadows and everything. Tiny, minuscule tilt, and he can look down more so than look up. His arms. You got one thing that is kind of, it can be irksome. These little flaps here tend to get in the way of arm articulation, so you gotta like finagle them to get your clearance. But they swivel, they go that way. Let's see, about to that far. You got the bicep swivel, elbow to there. No swivel on the wrists, but they hinge in and out, and that's to help with clearance for when you hold his weapons. Now, what I was saying here on the arm, see how free this arm moves? On this side, this goes back to where sometimes it made me nervous transforming him. On this side, it must be a tolerance issue. It's really tight, so see that? When you go like that, it's tight and doesn't want to move. And if you can just see in here, that assembly here, when you do that, it's twisting. I do not like that. It makes me really nervous, and you have to obviously you have to straighten out the arm for transformation, so you have to do it there too. And I just worry that it is going to break, so I kind of put pressure here to hold it in place in the back, and I've been working on freeing it up. But yeah, I do not like that one bit. It makes me super nervous. I hope everybody's copy's not like that, and it's just not mine. He does have the waist, clear that, spreads out, does the splits like that. It's got the thigh swivel, kicks forward really far, and I always forget to do the kick back, not so much. Hits his butt, about a 90-degree knee bend. No back and forward and back with his ankles, but he's got tilt out and tilt in. So yeah, nice articulation as we've become accustomed to. Now, I did mention the accessories, and you can port them. Obviously, you can put them in his hand, but you can port them in the 5mm holes here, like that. And then you can put that in his hand or on the side. You can even put it up here if you want, or on his forearm. I'm just being careful because that's that arm I was talking about. But of course, this is Prime Cliffjumper. You're gonna pull this off, all this off, if I can. Also, this is actually a separate piece too. You build this. This piece can come off too, and you can do whatever you want with it like that. But I left it on because, of course, this is Prime Cliffjumper. You are going to want to give him the horn, I guess. That's a problem I have. Obviously, this version of Cliffjumper is known for asking if you want the horns, and he whips out one of these on each hand. We don't get that with this one. So that's kind of a shame. I wish they got rid of this other stuff, which I'm assuming, I could be wrong because I don't have them, are leftovers from the chase version of this figure. I wish they chucked that off to the side and gave us another one of these. Okay, to wrap up this review, I'm going to mention the worst problem I have with this Cliffjumper release, and it has nothing to do with the figure. It has everything to do that he's tied down, locked behind an exclusive release that's with 3 other characters that a lot of people probably already have, forcing them to repurchase those figures if they want this Cliffjumper. Yes, they're redecos, repaints, but maybe people are fine with the ones they already have and they don't really care for the redeco. So if they want the Cliffjumper, they need to get the multi-pack, and I think that is a trash business practice. It needs to stop. Luckily, I wasn't in that situation. I never got a chance to pick up Tarn the first time around. I knew they were going to re-release him, and they did reveal pipeline him at SDCC. And I prefer the purple tarantulas, so that's kind of an iffy thing. And I didn't have squeeze play, so it wasn't that bad of a hit for me. But for a lot of people it is, and I just think that's really, really garbage to do to people. For the figure himself, I think he's fantastic, both in car mode and in bot mode. He articulates really nicely. But of course, the issues I mentioned, they should have chucked this out for this release and gave us another one of those. I'm sure these are like remnants of Chase. Like I said, I don't have him, so they put him in there. But, and maybe even this, I don't even know, but they should have chucked those little extra doodads that I personally don't care for and I'm probably never going to use. They're going to go in my little accessory baggie and that'll be the end of it, and gave us that so we could get the proper, you know, Cliffjumper in his full-on blaster mode, giving the Decepticons the horns. And besides that, the tolerance issues. Now, this tolerance issue, this crashing a bit and being a little frustrating, is an engineering issue. And then hopefully nobody has this issue, because that really scares me. I've been messing with it to try to loosen it up. It has loosened up a little bit. Like, it's much easier now, even though it's tight to move it, but that took a lot of wiggling. And even putting that pressure on kind of bugs me. Or doesn't bug me, it scares me. I don't want my Cliffjumper to snap because I don't want to buy another multi-pack to get him. So I did mention they are re-releasing Tarn singly, so hopefully down the road they do that for Cliffjumper, because that would be a crime. And one last note is, this Cliffjumper is Legacy Prime Universe done right, as opposed to something like this Lockdown, which is Legacy Prime Universe done horribly wrong. Did I say Lockdown? Knockout. I don't know which one I said there. I keep switching their names. I don't know why. I've always done that. But yeah, this guy, of course, got a little dust on him. Of course, his front doesn't look anything like his Transformers Prime representation. And the biggest crime is, I could have lived with that because I actually like the bulkhead, even though he's not really Transformers Prime, but I like that bulkhead. But the crime, when knockout, and then I almost said knockdown, is his face. I mean, come on, there's no character in that face, no personality, no grin, little sly grin, like it's Knockout's trademark. So yeah, this was done really well, and that other one was done terribly. So like I said, if you're thinking about getting that pack, regardless or whatever of who's included, you can't go wrong with this Cliffjumper. I'm just hoping he gets a single release that's easy to get, so other people that don't want to spend all that money on characters they already have a chance to pick him up. That being said, I know this outro, this ending was rambling, but those are my feelings. I'm a fan, not an expert. And until next time, thanks for docking.